Hey there everyone. I've had a lot of people asking me how my winch mounts and what kind of winch I'm running and all the little details. But anyway, here is the answer to that. I don't have the hook on right now. It's actually in the Jeep, but it's just a pin. No big deal. But this is a Keeper KW7.5. It is a 7,500 pound winch. Here's the company, Keeper. I actually bought this from Lowe's. I had gift cards to Lowe's one year, and I bought this from Lowe's. Keeper, this is actually a nice winch. I've had a lot of luck with it. I've used it for a couple different things, and it works well every time. It actually comes with a hardwired remote and a wireless remote, and I've had no glitches whatsoever with it. And the handle for the release, or for the free spool and everything, is really nice. It's big and works really well. But this is actually designed for a 2-inch receiver. It comes with the brackets and all that to put it in the back receiver of your truck or your car, your trailer, your SUV, whatever. But the mounting holes on the bottom actually line right up with that or with a mounting plate. This is actually a mounting plate from Tractor Supply, and the Fairlead comes with the winch as well. But it's a very nice unit, all metal construction, except for this is plastic, obviously. But the cool thing about this is it's quick release. So being that it's designed for a hitch, like a 2-inch receiver, it has these plugs. So you can plug and unplug. What I do is put a little bit of dielectric grease in here to keep it safe from water and everything like that. But I plug it in, and I actually have a little hole in the bottom here that I have a self-tapper up through. Once I plug the harness into the harness that's on the Jeep, I just run a screw right up through here and up through the other one. There's 2 plugs, and it will not vibrate or come back apart. And they are pretty heavy duty plugs. When you plug them in, they don't really come apart. But my frame rails are a little too wide on the CJ5 for just this mounting plate. So I have all grade 8 hardware and this angle iron here. Now I've used this a lot, and I've never had this thing bend, flex, do anything crazy. I mean, this is all like pretty heavy duty angle iron here. This whole setup probably weighs, my goodness gracious, I don't know, 70 pounds. It's pretty heavy. But anyway, that's the answer to that. That's how I have it mounted to the Jeep. But let me actually take it over there. I had it off so I could paint the frame rails, and I may actually disassemble this real quick and shoot some black paint on all this to kind of make it blend right in. But this little decal as well, I should say, the adhesive's starting to let go a little bit, but this here actually came from Parts Dude 4x4. I'll leave a link down in the description for that as well. It's not the correct period font for my Jeep, the script, but it's more of like a 70s script, but it is the right Kaiser colors. So it's actually metal, it's aluminum, pretty cool little medallion. I may pull it off and actually put some better adhesive on the back. It's starting to let go, but ain't no big deal. It's not coming off, the bottom's still tight. So let me get this refreshed a little bit, paint it up a little bit here, and I'll go show you on the Jeep how it goes on. These are just cheap Traveler cubes from Tractor Supply with a Traveler wiring harness to a button inside the Jeep. But this here is the other end that I actually have wired onto the battery, and it comes with a harness. It's real nice and all put together. This is the other end of that plug I was telling you about. So here I got the frame rails all cleaned up. What I do is to get that Fairlead to clear my Tuxedo Park bumper, I have washers I stack underneath here, and I use all grade 8 hardware on here as well. You definitely want to use something grade 8 or grade 10 or something pretty strong because you're putting all the weight on this vehicle. A 7,500 pound winch is overkill for a 2,200 pound vehicle, but hey, you'd rather have more than not enough. So let me go grab the winch and the plate and get that side on here. So here's my mount on the Jeep without the actual winch on. I just shot it with some gloss paint, some enamel, and I actually space it up with some washers here. The front gets up a little bit higher because the Fairlead doesn't quite clear the front bumper if I sit it down on the actual frame rails. But as you can see, the plate is not quite wide enough to make it to the frame rails, so I have to space off the angle iron there. But all this hardware is all grade 8, and I pulled the Jeep out many times, and it hasn't even budged. It hasn't gone anywhere, and it works just fine. So let that dry for a little bit longer, and I'll go back over here, grab the winch, and get that on there. And that just mounts right up into the existing holes there. Like I said, it mounts right up to this winch plate. I didn't have to modify or do anything with it. It works just fine on regular winch plates or the receiver for your truck or car. So let's go grab that winch. So here's the finished product after it's all painted. Got it all painted back up, got my cubes on there. I actually epoxied this with 2-part epoxy back onto here. Got my Fairlead back on, and that's how it mounts. As you can see, right to the frame, right like that, with all grade 8 hardware. And I don't have these other wires tied up out of the way yet. I strap that to the bottom. It's kind of hard to get underneath here. Yeah, strap that to the bottom, and I'll zip tie these wires up out of the way. But that's pretty much it. That's how my winch mounts. Go check out Keeper's website. It's a good product for a very fair price. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you next time.